Good morning, everyone. Or good. Well, hello. I should say bonjour. Can everybody hear me? Yes, let us know where you're from and your profession. That would be great. Our presenter will be coming online very shortly. Good morning, Jay. No, we cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. So, Jay, we cannot hear you. Yeah, some people ask whether if they can ask the questions in French. Trying to put as much of English as you can, but if you have to put it in French, and then I'll try to do my best to translate your question for Jay. Okay, unless of course Jay speaks French as well, then I don't need to. Okay, Jay, you're still muted. Okay, not a problem. So for those of you that's joining us, that's already online. Yes, there's a lot of people online. So be very mindful. We probably might not get to all your questions, but please please send your questions.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, good. Okay, I guess it was just when I first started having the problem. That's okay, Jasper. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I guess it was just a problem at the very. So, are you going to be changing the slides then, or do I change the slides, Quan or
Okay.
Sean?
So here, Jay, yes. So what happened is one, I'm gonna do a few introductory slides, and after that, we're gonna pass the control to you. So for you to change the slide, once you have the control, all you need to do is put your mouse over the screen, and you'll be able to click, and you'll be able to change slides.
Okay, so I just
Or
right click then. That's all I do. Just put my
yeah,
like, put my.
once you have the control, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll pass
great.
the control to you later.
Okay, and yeah, I'll encourage everyone to ask in English because I'll have a hard time answering in French. So I'll encourage them to ask any questions in English if they're able to.
Absolutely. And then actually you can talk a little bit more about, like I'm not sure if that's in your presentation, but you can certainly talk about the predominant language at work,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Okay, so we are almost ready. There's a lot of you, a lot of people out there. So yes, so Sanmina is definitely hiring. That's why Jay is here. So just be very, very respectful. There's no need to share your personal information. Okay, there's no need. And then we will get started shortly. So well, actually we're gonna get started right now because it's like there's a lot of people waiting. So let's get going. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining G-TAC's weekly Meet the Employer webinar again. And today we're extremely excited to have Sanmina joining us, and then to have Jay Colbert, who will be presenting on behalf of Sanmina. So I will let later on, I will let Jay do his intro. And for those of you that's joining us for the first time, or second time, or not familiar with G-TAC, G-TAC, which stands for Global Talents Alliance Canada. Basically, we are your connection between you and employers here in Canada, all across Canada. For those of you that has been following us for many months or years, you know that we have employer representation from all across the country. Last week was someone from BC. The week before was somebody from Alberta. And we will continue to add more. Next week will be somebody from Montreal and from the US. So it's going to be a very interesting month, need to say the least. And then we're going to have more, of course, strong lineup in November and up until the third week of December before we take a holiday break. So for those of you that's listening, obviously you see that all our topics are always around employment. So you'll see that a lot of times we will provide webinars on what you need to do with your resume, your interview skills, your LinkedIn profiles. And then of course we will have organizations from across Canada to talk about labor market informations. So for those of you that's sitting at home outside of Canada and you're in certain profession, and you gain knowledge about what are some of the jobs that's available for people with your profession, okay, or what are some of the jobs needed, okay. And of course we have our weekly Meet the Employer webinar, which is such as today. We invite leading companies to come and do a presentation. And of course we do 2 national online job fair each year, once in the spring, once in the fall, and we just had our 12th national online job fair that took place on September 27th and 28th. This kind of webinar, we started in mid 2016, and to this day, we have hosted over 700 live webinars. We're extremely proud. And of course, for those of you that wants to follow us, make sure you follow G-TAC, Global Talents Alliance Canada, on LinkedIn. Okay, click follow, because that's where you're going to get the latest information on the speaker, the events, and also some of the jobs that our employers are looking for right now. We are looking for a few jobs right now. So anybody that's in IT infrastructure, by all means, please send your resume to info@g-tac.ca. I'll put that in the chat box later. And of course, we provide career training. Our next career training for accounting professionals will start on Monday, November the 7th. Okay, there's very few space left, and it's all entirely online. In fact, over half of the students are people from outside of Canada. So you are welcome to join us online from outside of Canada. Everything is delivered digitally. all the instructors are chartered professional accountants. On top of that, they were all once newcomers to Canada. So not only that you'll get to learn all the technical skills about QuickBooks, small business accounting, etc., taxation, you also get to hear stories on how these individual trainers, the struggles that they face and how they overcome those challenges. Okay. We will have our cybersecurity fundamental training. This date will be announced soon, but if you're interested, by all means, send an email to song.g@g-tac.ca. I'll put that email in the chat box later. And of course, for the people that's interested in personal support workers, there will be a occupational skills refresher training, and that will announce soon. For more information, please get in touch at song.g@g-tac.ca. And here is our contact information. Follow us on LinkedIn. Go to Global Talent Alliance Canada. And of course, you can send an email to info@g-tac.ca. I do want to let people know is we have limited resources, and we are getting, I cannot even begin to tell you how many emails we're getting each day or each hour in info@g-tac.ca. Be patient. We will get back to you with your inquiries. Okay. Now, without further ado, Jay, we are going to pass the control to you. This might take just a few second delay. What I want you to do is put your mouse over the screen and click. The minute you can change slide, you are good to go.
Okay, thanks. Sure. So this is our home page, and I'll just give it a try here to see if I can change screens.
There you go.
There we go. All
okay,
right.
So you can go back to the first slide, and then what I'm going to say is, so Jay, the mic is yours, and after your presentation, we will have a Q&A session. So please put all your questions in either the Q&A box or in the chat box. So Jay, the mic is yours.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Shaw. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to speak with everyone today and get to talk to everyone a little bit about Sanmina and a little bit about what our company does, as well as some great opportunities that we have available that we want to highlight to everybody. So we're located, the plant, I'm coming to you today from our plant in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. We are a global organization with plants all across the world. We're on 6 different continents. We have facilities. I'm coming to you today from our primary Canadian facility, which is in Ottawa, Ontario. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our company and specifically about our facility as well. I'm the HR supervisor here at our facility, and I wanted to, so a lot of my presentation today, while it is about Sanmina as a company, it's also very specific to our plant too, specifically with opportunities available at our plant. But that being said, our website, you can access jobs from all over the world on our sanmina.com/careers website, and we'll put that address up many times throughout the presentation for you to see. Of course, my main focus is here in Ottawa, but as mentioned, you can see positions from all over the world that we have available as well too at our careers page. So what I'd like to do today is talk a little bit about who we are. So I'd like to do a bit of an introduction. I want to talk about who we are globally, because we are a global organization. And I also want to talk a little bit about, who we are specifically in Canada, so our specific Canadian facility. I'd also like to spend some time talking about recruitment. So while I talk a lot about Sanmina, I also want to talk a little bit about recruitment, specifically the recruitment here that we're doing in Ottawa. But a lot of what I'm going to talk about could apply at other plants as well too. But to preface, I want to specify that this presentation was put together very specifically with the Ottawa facility in mind. So when I get to specifics about how we recruit here, I'm talking about the Ottawa facility specifically. However, as I mentioned, you can see all of our positions on our website worldwide at www.sanmina.com/careers. So I want to talk a little bit about what kind of skills and expertise we look for when we're doing recruiting. And I want to talk a little bit about why you may want to consider a career at Sanmina. So just a little bit about us. So we have over 20 years of expertise in key markets around the world. We're a contract manufacturer, so we don't actually make our own products. We support OEM companies with their products. So you won't see necessarily a product that says, oh, this is a Sanmina product. Our products are in a lot of other products that help the products work and operate. And we really work in industries right across, the platform. We do production, manufacturing, design, engineering work in medical systems, in communications networks, defense and aerospace, industrial, computer storage, multimedia, and of course, automotive. So around the world, we're involved in all these different industries, working with, key customers, from large Fortune 500 companies to small local companies as well too, helping them with their products, manufacture and design their products. Here at our Canada facility, and I'll sometimes refer to Canada, we're in Ottawa, Ontario, but Canada is a suburb of Ottawa. So from a local standpoint, if you're from this region or from Ontario, you might be familiar with Canada. If not, then Ottawa is probably more familiar with everybody in terms of location. So if I go between Canada and Ottawa, I'm talking about the same facility. So here at our Ottawa/Canada facility, we work a lot with telecommunications at the present time. However, that doesn't mean that we're not involved in other areas too. So we can do automotive work. We have done clean energy, working with some of the companies, for instance, that does like the solar panels and windmills. Some of the technology in those devices came from Sanmina at our facility. We have been involved with transportation as well. I know the subway systems in Montreal, Quebec. Some of our technology is in some of the signage that they use on the subway systems, the digital signages, as you're approaching different stops, and that some of the PCB boards and microelectronics that run that equipment is from Sanmina. So you can see very much that we are very diverse and have a very wide range of customers and industries that we're involved in. And of course, we do a lot of different things as well too. So we do design engineering, we do test engineering, we work on different components, and we work in across manufacturing and automation. Here at our Ottawa facility, we're very fortunate because we've got both manufacturing and design engineering all under one roof. So we're not doing manufacturing at one location and design engineering at another location. Now, that's not to say that we don't send some of our manufacturing to some of our low-cost producers, our low-cost plants around the world. So while we do production here, we tend to do production more on lower volume. We do a lot of NPI, new product introduction manufacturing here. Once we get the yields up, we then will often do mass productions at our Shenzhen, China plant, or in our Guadalajara, Mexico plant, and they're our sister plants. But we do manufacturing here on site as well too. So just a little bit about me. So as I mentioned off the top, I'm the HR supervisor here at Sanmina. In terms of my background, I've been with Sanmina for just over 4 years. I do work out of our Ottawa facility. I am the HR supervisor here. We have a team of 4 members on site at our location. We're very fortunate to have our senior HR director for Canada and North America sit here in Ottawa with us. From a local plant support side, from an HR standpoint, there's myself, along with an HR representative and an HR coordinator. So we are a small team, and we have about 400 to 450 employees at our facility here in Ottawa. Why I was really interested in participating in this workshop. I wanted the opportunity to have some global reach, promote Sanmina, and also promote a little bit about what we do and some of the opportunities that we have to offer for those who may be interested in a career in manufacturing or design engineering. Hoping that Sanmina would be a place that you would consider as part of your career, whether that be here at our Ottawa facility with our team here, or at another facility, whether it be in North America or around the world. My background, a little bit about my background. I have a Bachelor of Business Administration with a concentration in human resources. I have a certificate in human resources as well. And I have a professional designation called the CHRL, which is Certified Professional Human Resources Leader. As I mentioned, been about 4 years here at Sanmina, but I've worked in HR for the better part of about 25 years. Primarily, I've worked in retail, a little bit in government. I've worked in automotive, manufacturing. I've worked in high tech, and I've worked in non-for-profit. So right now, of course, I'm working in high tech and in manufacturing. So a little bit now about who we are. And I'm talking now more from a global perspective on who we are. So here at Sanmina, we design, manufacture, and repair some of the most complex and innovative optical, electrical, and mechanical products from around the world. We are recognized as a technology leader, and we do provide end-to-end manufacturing and logistics solutions. So we're not focused just on one area. We do deliver superior quality and support original equipment manufacturers, commonly referred to as OEMs, primarily in different industries such as industrial, medical, defense, aerospace, automotive, communication networks, and cloud solution sectors, as I had previously mentioned. We are a global company. Our headquarters is located in the United States in San Jose, California. In terms of our headcount globally, we have about 35,000 employees worldwide. So while we have between 400 and 450 employees here in Ottawa, 35,000 worldwide. We do operate in 20 countries on 6 different continents. And our revenues for 2021 was $6.76 billion. And we are a Fortune 500 company. In terms of our history, we were founded in 1980 in Silicon Valley, California. We merged with SCI Systems, which stands for Spacecraft Incorporated, and became Sanmina SCI in 2001. In 2010, Sanmina acquired Breckenridge Manufacturing Solutions. And in 2012, we acquired a portion of MSI's repair division, and then we dropped the SCI from our name. So we're now commonly referred to as just Sanmina. And as you see on the right-hand side of the screen, our chairman and our chief executive officer is Yura Sola. Sorry, Shaw, I don't know if you're on or not, but there I go. Super. I thought I lost control of the slides for a moment, but I'm good. Thank you. So a little bit, that's who we are globally. Who we are in Canada now, I want to talk a little bit about our location. You can see that our picture of our location there on the screen. We're located in Canada, Ontario, or in the broader city of Ottawa, Ontario. And that's our facility from the roadway. We're at 500 March Road in Canada. For those of you joining us locally, you've probably seen our facility if you've driven down March Road or have been to Ottawa before. So we actually built this facility in 2015. So it's a fairly new facility. I know it's 7 years old, but I would still consider it to be fairly new, and it's very modern as well too. So we are at our facility, primarily, as I mentioned before, an NPI or gateway facility. And we do design engineering work here as well. So when I talk about NPI gateway is that when new products come in, we will often work on the products here locally in Canada or in Ottawa. And then once we get the yields up in the manufacturing process, at the yields and production we want, then we'll send the items for mass production, if required, to one of our low-cost producers, either in Shenzhen or in Guadalajara. We do small manufacturing batches here for local companies, but primarily here we focus on a lot of new product introduction, more low volumes, getting up the high yields. So a little bit more about who we are. So our Sanmina Canada facility gets to partner with some of the world's most advanced technology leaders. And here at our facility, we focus a lot on 3 different areas. We focus on microelectronics, we focus on optical, and we focus on RF. As well, we also do mechanical and electrical. And some of the areas where we specialize in would be product design and development, test engineering, process engineering, and new product introduction support. We also manage all aspects of production manufacturing, along with the implementation of product sustaining and cost reduction strategies as well too. So really, we are end-to-end solution provider for our customers. So in terms of recruitment at Sanmina, so I want to just shift a little bit now from talking about maybe the company to talking a little bit about some of our recruitment. So who do we look for here at Sanmina? So when we're considering candidates, we're looking for individuals who are talented, enthusiastic, and who are dynamic. Some of the skills and expertise that we will focus on or look for would be, individuals who've had previous electronics manufacturing or repair education experience. We're looking for individuals who may have an expertise in optical and RF or microelectronics areas. Individuals who have good hand-eye coordination, who have a mechanical electrical engineering background, and who also have good soft skills. And when I talk about soft skills, I'm talking about, communication skills, being able to work as part of a team, being able to follow directions. Those are some of the key soft skills we look for. Obviously, this isn't an extensive list, and it really is job dependent or role dependent. Excuse me. Some of these, obviously, when we're looking for a design engineering position with expertise in RF or optical microelectronics, the skill set we would be looking for would vastly differ from if we were looking for an hourly individual to work on our production manufacturing floor as a mechanical assembler or a test operator, or a debug tech, or a solder, or a splicer. Because we do offer that wide variety of positions here at Sanmina at our location. We offer hourly production floor positions. We offer high-end design engineering design engineering positions, and we also offer a variety of professional administrative positions, such as program managers, supply chain managers, purchasing administrators, program administrators, quote analysts, buyers, planners, IT, accounting, and even HR as well too. So what kinds of people have we found that have been most successful here at Sanmina? So individuals who can ramp up quickly and understand how to apply our various technologies across industries, applications, and environments. Individuals who have a solid understanding of how products reliability evolves based on variables and conditions. Obviously, we want people with good attention to details and an eye for innovation. We need individuals who are able to multitask. We do a variety of different projects over the course of a year. So we need somebody who's adaptable and flexible and is not necessarily just focused on doing, just working on one type of project or only for one customer or one industry. Because you'll have opportunities here at Sanmina to work with a variety of different customers on their customers' products over the course of the year. And of course, we want adaptable individuals who thrive in a dynamic environment and interested in learning and growing as well too. So this next slide talks a little bit about why you may want to consider working at Sanmina. So one reason why you may want to consider us as an employer would be because of the actual work you get to do. We do provide challenging and varied projects. You get a broad exposure to many different technologies, markets, and services. And we do use some of the most cutting edge technology here at Sanmina as well too. Also too, you get to be part of the full end product development. We go right from concept through to manufacturing. So you get to be part of the wide range. We also have, defined product specifications and architecture. You get to work with multidisciplinary teams. We have individuals working in our facility here in Ottawa from all over the world. We're a very, very diverse group of employees here that work here as a team and right across from all geographies. So, coming to Sanmina, it won't, it's a very welcoming environment, and you'll find individuals from all over the world. We also interact directly with customers depending on the role you perform. So you might have that opportunity as well too. So those are some of the key types of work things that we've heard and from employees that really have attracted them to Sanmina. Of course, I also want to take an opportunity to highlight some of the benefits that we offer. And again, I want to emphasize that, I'm now starting to transition a bit more to talking about specifically our facility, as this can be different from facility to facility. But some of the things you may want to consider is we do offer a very competitive wage for the local high-tech market here in Ottawa and Canada. If you are a full-time employee with us, Sanmina employee, we do offer a comprehensive benefit plan. Health, dental, vision. We do offer a family and employee assistance program. We offer short-term and long-term disability for individuals who may fall ill or be unable to work. And we do offer a defined contribution pension plan too, with a company match. So it's obviously important to plan for your future and your retirement. So we want to have employees be encouraged to do that. So we match up to 3% of their contribution of their earnings towards their pension plan. Sanmina will match that. We also offer a variety of different paid time offs throughout the course of the year. So employees receive paid vacation time off. They receive personal emergency leave days, commonly referred to as sick days. And of course, they're also paid for statutory holidays that would be applicable here in the province of Ontario. Some of the perks, in addition to the work and the benefits, we do offer payment for professional membership fees. So if you are part of a membership organization, your annual fees will be covered by Sanmina. We offer a tuition reimbursement to promote continuing education here at Sanmina. We do offer also as well ongoing performance assessments. So we want to give feedback to employees, let them know how they're doing, and give them opportunities for future learning and growth as well. And also too, there's lots of opportunities here at Sanmina for vertical and lateral mobility, because there are a variety of different positions you have the opportunity to grow into. If the current position that you're working in is something you're enjoying, then great. But if you aspire to work in different opportunities and different roles, we may have those opportunities for you here at Sanmina, depending on the plant and our functionality and what we do at the facility. So there's definitely opportunities for growth. So again, I want to emphasize that I'm now talking a bit specifically about our Canada facility. And I wanted to talk a little bit about our recruitment process, because I often will get questions from individuals, how do I get hired at Sanmina? What's the process? How does that work? So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I'm going to divide it up a little bit and talk about our salaried direct hire positions, which would be positions that would be our professional administrative engineering positions that we would hire directly. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our manufacturing production warehouse positions, because the recruitment process is a little bit slightly different for the two of them. However, one thing I do want to encourage everyone to do is to go on our Sanmina website, regardless of where you're looking to work in the world or what kind of position you're looking for. We post all of our positions at sanmina.com/careers. And that's noted in the first bullet point of this slide. So I encourage you to make note of that and to please go and visit that site, because that's where you'll have the opportunity to see all the positions we have available, learn a little bit more about them, and apply directly online. We do encourage everyone to apply directly online. That is the most effective and efficient way to apply for positions at Sanmina. We do use an ATS system, so automated tracking system, for our recruitment. So to ensure that your resume gets attached to the position you're most interested in, or positions you're most interested in, and the hiring manager and HR gets to see your resume, that's the best way to apply for the role. So I encourage everyone to view the positions and apply directly online. Our HR team does screen applicants and provides input to the hiring manager regarding applications and resumes they may want to further review. We are very liberal in our screening. We try our best to, not eliminate anyone at the early stages, unless it's very obvious that, there would not be a fit for that individual's background and skills for the role we're looking for. But we do try and get as many candidates as we can in front of the hiring manager for consideration. But obviously, we can't interview everybody. So the candidates that we do elect to move forward typically will be contacted by a member of our HR team to discuss the next steps. Excuse me. If you are selected to join the recruitment process and move forward beyond just submitting a resume, Typically, we will do a type of screening interview with you. That could be done for local candidates. That may be done for candidates in North America. That may be done through a phone conversation. Or it can also be done through video conferencing if needed for candidates who, maybe may prefer that method as well too. After we do the initial screenings, if you're still remain in the candidate pool for this particular opportunity and the manager wants to move forward, we then would invite the individual for an in-person interview with the manager. Again, depending on where you're located, the interview could be done through a video conference or it could be done in person here at our Canada facility. Again, I want to just emphasize that I am speaking specifically about recruitment opportunities here in Ottawa. So that's why it has that flavor to it. Some of our other facilities may have slightly different processes. So I just wanted to emphasize I am talking about our Ottawa facility. I'm talking about our recruitment process. But regardless, the website at the top of the page in the first bullet point is where you're going to go to start the process. So now I want to talk about the recruitment process for our hourly manufacturing roles because it is slightly different. So these would be roles that would work on our production manufacturing floor in our warehouse, such as mechanical assemblers, test operators, debug techs, splicers, solderers, SMT operators, those kinds of roles. These are typically hourly roles that are done on an hourly basis and paid on an hourly basis. And if the hiring manager is interested in looking moving forward with your application, you still apply, of course, sanmina.com/careers. What we will do is we will reach out to you and we will then put you in connection with one of our agency partners. We typically hire through a third-party employment agency for the first few months of employment for our manufacturing roles. And we would connect you then with our agency partner who would get you registered, and we would arrange then for an interview at Sanmina. If you're selected, you would then work through the agency partner at Sanmina to begin your employment. After approximately 3 months or so, your assignment gets reviewed and you're either going to be offered an opportunity to convert to a Sanmina employee. So you would then no longer work for the agency. You would then work as a Sanmina employee. And of course, at that point in time, all of the benefits that I talked about on the previous slides, like your health, dental, vision, sick days, vacation days would then begin. If for some reason, we don't convert, you're not converted 3 months, you would still continue to work at Sanmina, but you would continue to work through us through an agency and with a possibility of converting to a Sanmina employer at a later date. And as I mentioned, you are eligible once you become a Sanmina employee for employee benefits like health, dental, vision. We do offer 15 days of vacation a year, 10 paid sick days. And I talked about the company pension plan, defined contribution pension plan as well. So when I talked a little bit about some of our hourly production and manufacturing roles we're currently recruiting for, these fall into a broad range of we have a variety of positions, but I've tried to break it down into a couple of different categories just for simplicity's sake. So we're looking for areas in assembly, as operators, working in technical roles, working in quality, and working in our warehouse. You'll actually see all the positions and the position names like mechanical assembler, receiving inspector, material handler, test operator on our website for the positions we're specifically looking for. But all those positions tend to fall under one of these 5 categories that are listed on the screen. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. Please go and view the positions and apply directly online at www.sanmina.com/careers. So a little bit about, and again, this is very Ottawa specific. I want to emphasize this. I want to talk a little bit about shifts that we have for our hourly manufacturing, production, and warehouse roles. So we offer a 37.5-hour paid work week. So you would work 5 days a week, 7.5 hours a day paid. We offer a consistent shift too. So you're not bouncing around day to day, shift to shift. We offer a consistent shift that goes Monday to Friday, and you will work either on our days, our evenings, or our night shift. So once you're on one of those shifts, that's more or less the shift you stay on, unless there's a business need to make a change or you make the request to make a change. So you're not going days one day, evenings the next day, or days 1 week, evenings the next week. We do also offer a weekend shift here, which would consist of Saturday and Sunday, and 3 filler shifts during the week. So you'd still work 5 days a week. So we do offer a variety of shifts to hopefully meet the needs of our employees. And if, for example, if you're just wondering like what hours are a day shift, evening shift, night shift, I have them listed there, so you can see what the shift times would be. Sometimes the start times can vary by about a half hour, just because some individuals, for transportation reasons, we do have a local bus service here in Ottawa. It's not private; it's run through the city of Ottawa. We offer local transportation. Some individuals don't drive to work; they take public transportation. So we do offer some flexibility in terms of start times by about a half an hour. But those are our typical shift times as well too. Just to continue on, for our hourly rated manufacturing and production warehouse employees, the rate that's offered, the hourly rate that's offered, would be dependent on your experience. So through the interview process and review of your resume, we would evaluate the level of experience you have, and we would make an appropriate offer to you of an hourly rate depending on that experience. We do offer shift premiums for individuals who work our evening shift and our night shift. 10% shift premium if you work on the evening shift, and that's someone who's regularly scheduled to work on the evening shift, and a 15% premium for those who regularly work on the night shift, or those whose regular shift would include Saturday or Sunday. And again, once you become a Sanmina employee, you become eligible for benefits right away. Comprehensive benefit plan, health, dental, vision, defined contribution pension plan with a company match up to 3%, and paid time off, such as vacation and sick days as well too. Again, this is very specific to the Ottawa facility. So that may be different depending on facilities located around the world. So I just want to emphasize that again. And as we kind of get ready to wrap up my presentation portion, I did want to just again stress to you how you can apply for positions. Please do visit that sanmina.com/careers. If you want to email your resume specifically for an Ottawa position, you can do so. The Canada resumes at sanmina.com is how you would do that. These would be only though for positions that would be located in our Ottawa facility. And again, we do prefer that you go to the website and apply directly online. That is the best way to apply for positions. We do offer the email service if there's some technical issues or problems. But if you want to ensure your resume gets seen and gets attached to the role, please do apply directly online. And now I want to take an opportunity to go over any questions. I'm just going to go back one slide though, Shaw. So I want to leave this up here just because if anyone wants to write that information down as we go through the questions, they can certainly do that.
Yes, thank you, Jay. Great presentation. Now, there are lots of questions. Some of them I just want to remind every one of you, please try to, first of all, try not to put your personal information. Now, Jay, maybe you want to explain to people, because I'm sure sometimes you want to explain to people about the Canadian standard, because sometimes I'm sure you receive emails where the applicants have their photos, their date of birth, their marital status, their gender, they identify everything. So please, why is it that we don't need it here in Canada?
Yeah, so basically here in Canada, our government and our legislation, basically we have human rights legislation here that protects candidates from discrimination. So we prefer that you don't provide personal information outside of, obviously we would need your name and your contact information to get a hold of you, but we don't require information personal in nature until an offer of employment's made to you. So you don't need to put on your resume a picture or what sex you are or what your date of birth would be or your marital status, because for us that's really irrelevant when we consider you for an opportunity. We don't take those things into consideration. It doesn't matter what country you're from Although for positions here in Canada, you'd obviously have to legally be allowed to work in Canada. That is a
Yes.
requirement. But it doesn't matter to us if you're married or how old you are, or your ethnicity, your sexuality, your political preference. That makes no difference to us. So we prefer candidates not provide that information because it's not needed or required. I do know sometimes in other countries that information is provided, but we don't need that here in Canada for positions that you're applying for in Canada.
Well, actually, Canada, but in general, North America, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, of course, of course, another one that I always emphasize is this: there's no need for you to put down your religious belief as well, right?
Right. That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct, because that plays no role into the hiring decision.
Okay, good. So for those of you that's listening right now, and there are a lot of you listening right now, is please take a few minutes or a few seconds to complete this very, very simple survey. Let us know how you feel about today's seminar, webinar, and also let us share your feedback with us. And then we will do everything we can, because we take your feedback very, very seriously, and we always use these feedback as a guidance in terms of who we invite in the future webinars. Okay, so please take a few seconds to complete this form while we go on with another more questions. So here's a question: is so for all of you that's listening right now, and you read so many resumes, and a lot of people says, you know what, I sent hundreds of resumes, I have no reply. So what are some of the things that you look for?
Right. No,
I don't know if you can share that.
Question. Great question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we can't respond to every single resume we receive. We just receive too many of them to be able to respond. I know maybe 50 years ago or 40 years ago, I remember, maybe it's a Canadian custom, not around the world, but when I first started looking for employment, maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago, sometimes employers would actually send you a letter in the mail acknowledging receipt of your resume. But times have certainly changed, and with the electronic age now and the technology we have, unfortunately, we can't, contact directly every single individual who applies for positions. We do, however, review all resumes that we do receive. The hiring manager ultimately needs to be the one who, makes decisions in terms of who they're looking to hire. And that can vary by position, depending on the role you're looking for. So we do have some very, common skills, qualities we're looking for, but a lot of it is very position specific as well too. So for instance, we're looking for a very different candidate for an optoelectronic engineer than we would be for a mechanical assembler. Across the board, we're obviously looking for individuals who have, experience in manufacturing. That's always very beneficial. If you're looking for an engineering position, typically we're looking for individuals with a Bachelor of Engineering in some varying specialization. Here we do focus a lot on optical, microelectronics, and RF. So for our engineering positions, having a background in one of those areas or education experience is very important. If you're looking for one of our manufacturing hourly roles, a lot of these roles are more entry level in nature. So while it's great to have, manufacturing experience, and it's always preferred, it's definitely not required. We're looking for individuals really who have a mechanical aptitude, who can work as a team, who have good communication skills, who can follow direction, who can work the shifts we require them to work as well too, and get to our location, because you can't do manufacturing, of course, from home. So things like that we will take into consideration and look for. But overall, I would say, in terms of soft skills, regardless of the position, we're looking for individuals, who have initiative, who have good attention to details, because the work we do is very detail oriented in a lot of ways, and mistakes can be very costly. We're looking for people who have good communication skills, because you're working with other team members, regardless of your role. And we're looking for individuals too who can follow directions, who can read instructions and follow plans. So that would be kind of a high level, Shaw. And thank you
Yeah.
to those who asked that question about what we would look for kind of higher level or more generically.
Yeah. And I just want to add to this is from a professional career counselor's point of view is for newcomers, there's absolutely nothing wrong to start with the hourly wage jobs. Absolutely nothing wrong. And if you're really good, you start, you get in, you entry level or just it doesn't matter if it's an hourly wage or it doesn't matter the night shift, you start working. And if you're really good, there are plenty of opportunity to move up within internal hiring process. Is that correct, Jay, Sanmina?
For sure. Yeah, no question. I mean, we do have individuals that start working on our manufacturing production floor. Some like that type of work, enjoy it, and will work many, many years in those roles or variety of roles on our manufacturing floor. But we have had individuals be promoted and move up into engineering roles from our manufacturing floor. So for instance, we have individuals that, start as mechanical assemblers who are now working as test engineers or process engineers, or individuals who might be working as manufacturing engineers. For the design engineer side, you do need to also have, the education and experience it's a little more higher qualifications, but that doesn't mean that, you can't move up from working on the production floor to those roles. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes, individuals who might have engineering backgrounds don't want to work on the production floor. They want the engineering positions, and that's understandable. But at the same time, too, some of the engineering positions that we have here requires some experience as well, too. So it can sometimes be challenging, especially for new grads or people who are just entering the workforce to go into some of those higher level engineering roles that we require. But for certainly the manufacturing and production and warehousing roles are a great entry level into the organization. And, even if you're looking more for professional administrative or you're looking for supervisory roles, a lot of our production supervisors started working on the production floor and they moved up into production supervisor positions. So it's a great entry level way of getting into the organization, getting your foot in the door as kind of a slang saying, just to get started.
Right, exactly. And there's absolutely no shame in that. Absolutely no shame in that. Okay, in Canada, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, and besides, when you come to Canada, it's a new beginning. So sometimes it's in order to move forward, you might need to take a couple steps backwards. So that's fine. Now, Jay, I do have a question. So in terms of hiring process at Sanmina, I'm not sure if you covered that in detail, but for example, from the time I click submit application on your website until I get the offer, usually, can you just kind of go through like a process and how many rounds of interview?
For sure. So it does vary, Shaw, slightly based on the position. So for manufacturing positions on our production floor, we have a very quick turnaround time. I will sometimes receive applications Thursday, Friday, and they can be in a position to start potentially not that next Monday, but the following Monday. So within a week to 2 weeks from when we receive the application, they could start working for us through our agency partnership. So the quick turnaround time can be very, very quick. We have done it as little time as 1 week. For some of our more professional positions, whether it be on the administrative side or engineering side, they tend to do a bit more detailed interviewing. So it can take a little bit longer. For let's say one of our engineering positions, for example, you may have a phone interview, one or two interviews with the hiring manager. And then we obviously have to do our due diligence in terms of things like reference checking. And we do criminal background checks on all of our employees as well, too. So that process may take a little longer. So from the time you click, submit your application to when you start working, could be maybe 3 to 4 weeks or slightly longer, depending on the situation. But I have seen situations occur where, if we get that right candidate and the managers, they're clicking off all the boxes, can make turnaround times happen in a couple of weeks as well, too. Sometimes the recruitment process also depends on the candidate themselves, right? If the candidate's currently working, they may have some obstacles in terms of attending interviews or have to give a certain required notice to their employer before starting, which can also delay their start time. But in general, I would say, you know, for manufacturing and hourly paid positions, we can do the turnaround time within 1 to 2 weeks. For, you know, more of our salaried positions or more professional administrative positions, those can vary more like 3-4 weeks plus.
Okay, we have some very smart, sharp listener, viewer says, what is the minimum wage right now in I guess in Ontario, and how is your wage compared to the minimum wage?
So yeah, so the minimum wage just recently went up. We pay above minimum wage, so it went from $15 to $15.50, I believe. I'm fairly certain that's correct, but if I'm incorrect on that, I apologize. But I'm fairly certain it just went to $15.50. Now we pay above minimum wage, so it's not something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. We typically will pay above minimum wage by $1.50 to $2.50 for a lot of our manufacturing hourly positions. If you're entry level and just really coming to us, you know, without an in-depth skill set or background, if you have, you know, if you have the skills you require, that could be more. But if you're looking like for hourly positions, typically we pay $1.50 to $2 to $2.50 above the minimum wage, which here in Ontario would be $15.50. You know, obviously for our salaried positions, that depends on the role itself, on what the wage would be for that.
What happens if I don't speak English well?
So not everybody who works here, English is their first language. So that's not necessarily a problem, but our primary communication is in English. So you do have to be able to understand English and be able to communicate in English. Do you have to be fluent? No, because a lot of our employees aren't fluent in English. English might be their second or third language, but they have to have the ability to communicate in English. So they would have to be able to read and write English. It doesn't have to be great, but they have to be able to do it, at least to be able to understand instructions, be able to communicate to their supervisors and team members. So our primary operational language here in Ottawa is English, and you know, North America is English. Now, that doesn't mean you won't hear a variety of languages being used informally around the plant, because even here in Ottawa, you will hear French, you will hear Spanish, you will hear Mandarin, Cantonese, you'll hear a variety of different languages being spoken, but officially everything is done in English. So for example, like job offers are made to you in English. Anything that would be official documentation is done in English. So you wouldn't need to be able to have an English comprehension. If you spoke no English at all and didn't understand English, that would be a challenge.
Do you offer, first of all, do you hire international students?
We have hired international students, yes. You have to have a visa to work in Canada legally. So that's the requirement. International students, recently here in Ontario and in Canada, the requirement of number of hours worked recently increased. It had been 20 hours a week that they were limited to if they were students while in school, but out of school they could work full time. But I understand that amount's also recently increased as well too. We do hire students for sure. Our preference is usually to hire individuals who can work full time, 37.5-hour weeks. That's our preference. But you know, with the challenging labor market that's out there right now, we are starting to consider students, even if they can only work on a part-time basis.
Okay. Does Sanmina in Canada or in Ottawa hire people through the, first of all, does Sanmina here in Ottawa participate in the GTS program? Global Talent Stream. Do you hire people from abroad and sponsor them to come to Canada to work?
So thank you for clarifying, Shaw. I wasn't familiar with that term. So at the present time, no, we currently aren't part of a sponsorship program. So the individuals who would work for us here at Sanmina would already have to have their visa and documentation in place to be able to legally work in Canada. At the present time, we're not doing sponsorship.
Okay, good. And what is the working environment? On-site, hybrid, or remote?
So primarily here at Canada, Ontario facility, it's on site. The manufacturing roles have to be on site because you can't manufacture from home. Some of our engineering roles and our professional administrative roles have the ability to work from home. However, in general, the expectation is that you work on site at our location. If you needed to work from home, on a case-by-case basis, you have appointments or there's inclement weather, then obviously you could do that. But we don't have a setup where someone would consistently work at home 100% or would consistently work from home a number of days per week. The expectation at our facility here, and I'm talking about our facility in Ottawa, would be that you would need to be available to work on site 5 days a week.
Okay. What about foreign credentials? Do you take foreign credentials? Like for example, if somebody say they have one of your engineering degree that you need to be a mechanical engineer, and somebody is a graduate from a mechanical engineer for another country.
Yeah, absolutely. We consider foreign credentials. That's not a barrier to employment at all here at Sanmina. We have a lot of employees who have been educated abroad, have work experience abroad, may have little to no Canadian experience, and we will still consider them and hire them. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form prevent candidates from working at Sanmina. And we encourage candidates to still apply for roles, even if they don't have a lot of Canadian experience. That doesn't necessarily factor into decisions. You do obviously have to legally be allowed to work in Canada. Yes. However, you don't have to have Canadian experience or be Canadian educated to work at Sanmina in Ottawa.
Okay. What about job security?
So we're fairly stable here in Canada. We are here in Ottawa at our facility. We don't do a lot of layoffs. Really, we're hiring, we're growing. We're not looking at reducing. Our senior management team here has been very responsible in terms of the hiring we do. So we don't overhire. We don't have more employees than we need and then have to, lay people off and bring people in and lay people off. We try and have a consistent baseline of required employees here at our facility, so we avoid that. Can I make any guarantees or promises? No, I can. No one can guarantee you permanent lifetime employment because things happen and situations occur sometimes that are beyond the company's control. So no one can make you those guarantees, but we do offer stability here. If you're someone who is looking to make a career, wants to work for one organization, we have a lot of employees that have worked their entire careers with Sanmina or have worked 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and yes, even 40 years at our facility as an example. So there's definitely stability here. I mean, obviously, we're looking for individuals that want to work in this environment, want career progression. We're looking to contribute and make a difference as well, too. So, if you're a good performer, you have the right aptitude, the right skill sets, you can definitely make a career here at Sanmina. And we do offer what I would consider to be a fairly stable working environment.
Okay, good. Jay, I have to be honest with you. I have been very, very soft on you. I haven't put you on the spot yet. But that being said, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
For sure.
Okay. So this question was asked by many, many international clients. They're saying, should I or should I not put my phone number in the resume? Meaning, obviously, the phone number of that country. And by putting, like, for example, if you see somebody's resume with a foreign phone number, is that automatically that you're probably gonna bypass that resume?
No, it doesn't mean we automatically bypass the resume at all. We will still consider the resume for sure, but the candidate has to legally be able to work in Canada. So while we don't ignore the resume, we will definitely look at the resume. It is very helpful if the candidate, can, let me know or let us know that they are legally allowed to work in Canada. in that respect. And that is one of the questions we ask during our pre-screens, because we can't hire you in Canada if you're not legally allowed to work in Canada. So while we don't bypass the resume directly, because we see a foreign phone number, when you go on our careers page and you fill out an application, one of the questions you will get asked is, are you legally able to work for the employer? Do you require sponsorship? Is there be any? And so that's why it's important that, you know, you do fill that out, so that helps us to understand your work status. If you're not legally able to work in Canada, unfortunately, we can't hire you. So that would be something, you know, that would mean that we would probably consider other candidates at that point. But, you know, the fact that you have a foreign phone number, as long as you're legally allowed to work in Canada, we will consider.
Okay, no, but legally, like there are many pre-arrival clients where they already received their permanent resident status approval. But as you know, due to the border closure, restriction, limited airline, I mean, I was talking to a client in India. He is still waiting to come to Canada for a few months now, because there's just simply not enough flights out of India to come to Canada. So in those kind of cases, if they say, yes, I'm legally entitled to work in Canada, except I'm still in India, can I still apply?
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, we have had individuals who, you know, were having challenges getting to Canada. Now, obviously, you know, you have to be able to eventually get here, but I have had, and it depends on the position you're applying for too, right? And what the immediate needs are.
Yes.
But we will wait for candidates to a reasonable degree, right? I mean, you know, our positions that we recruit for, we in general are looking for candidates that can start, you know, fairly quickly. But I have had some candidates that we've, you know, waited for because they've had travel issues or they've had difficulties being able to get to Ottawa. They may even be in Canada, but they have difficulties getting to Ottawa, that we've worked with and waited for. So as long as you're legally allowed to work in Canada, if you're selected for a role, we'll work with you to try and make it work.
Okay. Now you mentioned about the you hire people relatively quickly and then they can work. For example, let's just say, for example, the one in the manufacturing. Is there a training process, like onboarding training, that each individual must go through?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we hire individuals, regardless of the position, you have to go through a general orientation with us at Sanmina to learn about the company, learn about our plant, learn about health and safety, learn about quality, learn about our systems. So every employee needs to go through a mandatory orientation, regardless of the position they hold in the company. That can vary from as little as, you know, a day to as much as potentially a week, depending on your role. Once you're in your role, you also receive training as well too. The amount of training you receive and the type of training you receive will be very much role dependent. So for instance, individuals working on our manufacturing and production floor will receive very detailed and specific training about the job requirements of their role. Because a lot of individuals may not have done the roles before, or if they have done them, they're different maybe than what they would have done in a previous role. So our training is very much, you know, it can take weeks. You can be on training for weeks before you're ready to you know, to be fully ready to work on your own. Obviously, we want to get everyone up to speed as quickly as possible. So we try and be as diligent as we can. You know, for our professional and administrative roles or engineering roles, you still receive training, but the training might not necessarily be as detailed, in the sense that, you know, you would need to come with some prior education and knowledge and experience. But you still have to learn about our culture, about our systems, about our different departments, kind of who's who, you know, our processes, our procedures. So all that stuff you're provided with training on. But obviously for some higher level roles in engineering and professional administration, you do need to certainly come with some previous experience and education in those areas. You wouldn't be able to just come in knowing nothing about those areas, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then I just have to make a comment about some of you. I know a lot of you are probably new, and some of you are yes, we are coming to an end. Sorry, Jay, we're gonna wrap this up very, very soon. But I just want to make this comment before I ask you to wrap up today's presentation. Is a lot of you have mentioned about, oh, I'm this, I can do that. But you know, if you do this kind of a, if you do approach employers with this type of message, chances are your chance of failure, well, your chance of not going to get any response is much higher than you're going to get any response from the employer or the hiring people that you're trying to contact. So you really, really need to restructure in terms of how you approach employers. Okay, we mentioned earlier is put your questions and try not to put your personal information in a chat box. Yet many of you still put in chat box and your personal information, etc. So just be mindful, is because the little things here and there, that's going to make a difference when you apply to jobs. Okay, and that's going to show, reflect on your resume. So Jay, one more question. This one again, it's going to put you a little bit on the spot here, Jay. uh, you don't need to answer if you don't want to. Is well, we heard that Sanmina's salary are not as competitive as regular market rate. Is there any truth to that?
So I mean, we feel that our salaries are very competitive for
Mhm.
our industry and contract manufacturing. So
Okay.
if you go and you work for some OEM organizations, original equipment manufacturers, they may pay a higher hourly wage. You know, are
Mhm.
we the leader in salaries? No, we're not. But you know, we do offer stability, we offer benefits, we offer a great work environment. We're not for everybody, right? Just like no company is for everybody.
Yes.
You know, but are we kind of at the top end of the wages? No, we're not. We're not
Okay.
there. Now, for certain positions, you know, the wages are substantial, especially for some of our higher end engineering positions. But for our
Mhm.
hourly floor positions, I feel we offer a competitive wage. You know, it is in line with the individual's background, experience, skills, and knowledge. We do have some flexibility depending on that. But, you know, if you are someone coming to us that, you know, this would be very much an entry level job for you, or that you are very, you know, you don't have necessarily a background or experience or education in our field, you know, you're obviously going to have an hourly wage that would reflect that. All that said, we do pay above minimum wage, so you're not receiving the
Mhm.
minimum standards in Canada. We do pay above
Mhm.
minimum wage. We do offer benefits for full-time permanent employees, and you know, we hope that you know, you will still consider Sanmina. But if you're looking to only work for the highest paid employer that's out there, then you know, that might
Yeah.
not be us for you. But then
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one group of employer, that one employer probably has
Yep.
also hundreds and thousands of applications as well too, if they pay more than anyone else pays.
Yes. Yeah. Well, well, thank you for the answer. That's a good answer, Jay. And you know, a lot of people that out there, just remember, um, salary might be not as competitive, but certainly one thing that Jay mentioned very, very, I don't know if any one of you caught it, is stability. They don't do massive layoff. They're very, very steady throughout their process. So you know, so that's a bit of a trade-off, is you get stability, right? So on that note, Jay, I would like you to take next 60 seconds to wrap up today's presentation.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say again, thank you, Shaw, and thank you, G-TAC, for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about our plant here at Sanmina in Canada, Ottawa, Ontario, as well as more globally worldwide. I appreciate everyone who took the time to attend today, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, where you may be located. Sanmina, we are a global employer. We do hire from around the world. We offer great opportunities to candidates. We do hope that, you know, Sanmina would be a place that you would consider. We do have a lot of individuals who spend their entire career with our organization and company. There's lots of opportunities for growth and development within our organization, and lots of opportunities for mobility. So we think that, you know, we're a great place to work. I really enjoy working here. I've been here about 4 years myself. And yeah, we think that we would love to, receive a resume from you. We love it if you would consider us as somewhere you would like to work. We do have great opportunities as well too. And if you are looking for, diversity and you're looking to get to work on a lot of different types of products with a lot of different types of customers, Sanmina may be the place for you. So we want to thank you for attending today, learning a bit more about us. And, I look forward to receiving an application from you for an opportunity that you feel you may be well suited for.
Jay, I just got one more question. Just came in, and this is very, very relevant. Suppose I work with Sanmina in another country, and internal transfer, is that even possible?
Yes, it is possible. You still have to legally be allowed to work in Canada, but we have had employees come from facilities outside of Canada work at our facility. But there would still need to be the ability to legally work in Canada. Now, obviously, I can't go into all the details because it's too broad what that would involve. But to answer your question simply, yes, that's a possibility, but you do still need to also be able to legally work in Canada.
Okay, good. Thank you for the clarification. So, folks, really, really appreciate your spending the past 70 minutes with us, and thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to see you next week. Next week there will be a session, and then we do this every now and then, because I notice a lot of you really are missing some of the key I guess the skills needed to communicate with employers. So next week I will host, I don't do this often, but I will host a session. It's about the workplace communication. What are some of the things, do's and don'ts, when you commit? Like, for example, if you want to get in touch with Jay, what are some of the things you should say, and what are some of the things you shouldn't say to people like Jay, and so on. So next week, please join us for that session, and we look forward to see you all next week. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, wherever you are. Jay, on behalf of everyone at G-TAC and all our audience, I want to thank you for your time this morning. Now, I know you have a busy schedule, so thank you again, and we hope to see you. We'll come back in, I don't know, next time, say maybe in a few months' time, come back again and do a presentation.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to do so. I've got a good relationship with G-TAC over the years. So thank you, Shaw, and thank you to the audience and everyone who's attended today. And, I wish everyone a great rest of their day.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.